Birds do things to gain pleasure or avoid pain. We know that through positive reinforcement, we can gain pleasure, right? So plus reinforcement, as we talked about yesterday, is adding something that increases behavior. Most commonly, that's a bird's favorite treat. We use that as our primary reinforcer because it's the one thing we absolutely know is 99% of the time a plus reinforcement. If the bird loves being pet on the head, in public, it may hate being pet on the head, so then it's punishment, and you're not going to increase that behavior. So if you get in the mindset of thinking my bird loves this, you might discover very quickly that you're setting yourself up to fail because in some situations your bird might actually hate it. So let's clean slate. Let's focus on using food as that primary reinforcer. Keeping in mind, there's other things that we talk about in the parrot training quadrant. There's plus and minus reinforcement, plus and minus punishment. All those things are happening all the time, but our focus is mostly going to be on plus reinforcement, and that's going to be food for the purpose of today. With that being said, it needs to have a fresh chop diet, and typically we give it in the morning. After a training session, this can be also switched and it can be at the evening. And you can do pellets in the morning based on your work schedule. But it should be one and then the other. When you put your bird to bed at night, it's getting a solid 12 hours of sleep. If it isn't already, go change that in your environment. If you need help with that, we can help you figure that out. But make sure it's uninterrupted 12 hours of sleep. It doesn't mean that I put the bird's cage right here, we put the TV on and we watch the full series of 24 one night. Right? There's explosions, Jack Bauer's going nuts, and the bird's not sleeping a wink. That's not uninterrupted sleep. In this environment, it would be probably in the laundry room or the upstairs bedroom, right?
In our house, we have like a whole separate room, like you guys have at home, with bird cages, and that gets locked off at a certain time now, and everybody goes to bed at 6 o'clock. We're going to bed because we wake up early, so I know that they've gone to bed and had 12 hours because I'm up at 6, turning lights on, running food for them, feeding horses, feeding dogs, feeding kids. All of that starts at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Love it. I also find it's incredibly creepy that she knows what the inside of our house looks like. You guys are fun to mess with. So if it's understood that your bird's getting 12 hours of uninterrupted sleep every night, it's safe to say that a 12-hour period, that bird is not eating. Would you agree?
Yeah.
So 12 hours without food, you shouldn't feel guilty. You shouldn't feel like my bird's starved. You're following a natural cycle of the birds. And when morning comes, that bird is hardwired to earn its food. In the wild, these birds are going to be flying around looking for food with no guarantee of it. So if we just put them in a cage and we give them bacon and turkey legs and pizza and popcorn, all we're doing is we're taking that ability away from the animal to think and figure things out, essentially just dumbing it down over time. Giving them the opportunities. It doesn't have to be every single day of the week. Some days you can give them a day that's easy. Yesterday we talked a little bit about treat value, and this all comes back into where I think we're going to take this today. If your bird's on an all-seed diet and you're trying to have your bird work, step up. Keep in mind, step up is a trick. Right? If you're trying to have your bird step up for a seed and it gets a seed for free in the cage, what's its motivation? It might love sunflower seeds, but the value of that seed on a scale of 1 to 10 is going to be a 1. If you have your bird on a colorful pellet diet 24/7 and it never sees seed, and its favorite treat is a sunflower seed, and you say, hey, will you step up for a sunflower seed? That sunflower seed's got a lot higher value. Would you agree? Same treat. You're not starving the bird. It still has 24 hours access to food, but that treat all of a sudden has a higher value. And I would say it's probably a value of 5 on a 1 to 10. So then take it a step further, and now you only have fresh chop in the morning, and then you've got this really healthy organic pellet cold pressed in the evening. Now that same sunflower seed that's the favorite treat is now value 10 on a 1 to 10. So what I'm after is trying to help you increase the value of the treat without increasing the starvation or the hunger of the bird. Like, so we're going to work with a natural hunger and try to make the value of the treat higher. So that's a huge takeaway. So in your situation with feeding all the food you do, I think the first thing that you need to do is transition him over onto like a chop diet. As a traveling entertainer, I get it. Sometimes you may find it harder to pre-prepare the stuff. When we're on the road, Jamie will chop it up, do all the mix ahead of time. We put it in a freezer that's in our trailer. You can put it on dry ice if you're going to be at a hotel for a week or whatever it is, but I would find a way to chop it and pre-prepare it all so that it's ready, and it kind of takes the show day effort of preparing the food out of the equation, and you just pull out your little prepackaged portion serving and just dump it in there, that might be an option for you. We talked motivation levels yesterday, but basically if your bird is willing to step up, we call it permission-based training. So in other words, instead of having the mindset of like, step up, like you might with a dog or a horse, it's, hey, will you step up? If the bird puffs its feathers and leans his head down, it's a pretty clear first indication that no, I don't want to step up. So our mindset is then, okay, why didn't you want to step up? So then it gives you a chance to work through that and make it so the bird wants to step up on you because it's set up with the proper sleep, it's set up with a proper diet, and now that value of a seed went from 1 to 10, now he's going to be very willing to step up through his choice, not through being forced to step up. I think a lot of this is going to jump back to you with the free flight training. Based on some of the things I'm hearing, I have a pretty clear idea of how you're training and how you're working, and we'll go through those a little bit more individually. I want to see some interaction before we just go all lessons for 3 hours. But I think a lot of what we're going to do with you is permission-based training and encouraging the bird to do what he wants to do and setting him up that what he wants is what you want versus trying to force him to do something and then that causes a disaster. Yeah?
Yep.
So all that kind of makes sense for everybody?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Okay, so it's the diet, for everything to work, you have to wipe everything clean and start fresh with the diet. If the diet's off, I'm not going to be able to help you much.
No more bacon.
No more bacon.
Chicken drumstick, man. He really likes chicken drumstick.
then you know what? Keep it in your free flight bag as a backup. You know what I mean?
Stick it in the basket.
Just don't forget about it.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome. Let's work with some birds.
Yeah. So, Jamie, do you have anybody you want to start with first?
Oh, God. It's kind of a toss-up.
I kind of want to start in AJ. What's your bird's name?
Sven.
Sven, that's right.
Sven from Sweden.
We have Sven.
I should know. I saw the posters.
It's the Swedish flag, you see.
Okay, I think.
I thought it was Sven from Frozen.
Oh, yeah, that works too.
Was I the only child in the room? You want to go there?
I kind of want to start there because I think he's going to be the biggest amount of work.
He's big, but you know.
Right.
Did you mean the bird?
He's the biggest amount of work too.
That's what I thought he meant.
And then we'll jump to the others. But since your biggest issue right now is shoulder rushing, one of the things we're finding a lot with blue and gold macaws, well, with macaws in general, but we've seen it a lot recently with blue and golds, is they rush your shoulder. And what it does is it gives them this false sense of security. You wouldn't have your 14-year-old walking around with a pacifier in her mouth.
Yep.
And that's what you're doing to your bird.
Yep.
The bird is never faced, never given the opportunity to have to confront his fears and learn how to deal with them. There's a book called Emotional Intelligence, and the book focuses on human psychology and why we are all screwed up the way we are. And
That's a good recap.
But it relays back to birds. So my version of my upbringing is I would trip and fall, I'd get hurt. My mom's like, "Oh, you're okay, just get up, you're fine." And it came from a place of her wanting me to do better, but she also wanted me to stop crying and to just shut up and get on with the day. Right? And so what happened is as I got older, I didn't learn to trust my emotions. I didn't know how to deal with those emotions properly. So once I was able to see that, then I could figure out, oh, my emotion, it's not what everybody else tells me my emotion is. It's okay, what do I feel? Assigning a name to it and then saying, okay, this is how I'm going to work through that. Well, with the bird that just rushes to your shoulder, it's the same thing. It's like, it doesn't have to, it's not forced to overcome its fears. It's given this pacifier and it's walking around with a binky in its face all its life, right? And you lose control of being able to help the bird through that. So what we teach, especially with macaws, is when the bird steps up, you put a thumb on a foot and then on the other foot. Okay, now I know that's going to be a challenge, but you're going to see that I'm probably going to have more success with it than you are today, with your bird.
I already do that.
Okay,
Yeah.
well you were saying that you're having a problem with it.
Oh no.
Well,
if he
he
gets,
can't hold it.
yeah, because he'll get like, let go, right? He's all right because we walk to the park,
Okay.
right? And that's where I hold him. Because we have to go over across the road and all the rest of it. So small instances, not a problem. But after a while, when he lands and all the rest of it, if he gets a chance, he'll go up.
Okay.
And he'll sit. I can get him down with a treat, right? He can step up, but there has to be a treat. This is where I'm going like, let's step up, and it's like, there's no treat involved. Stay in here, brother. And that's the issue.
Macaws, you're gonna feel the bird's fear prior to it being an issue where he runs to your shoulder. He might be running to your shoulder because there's an eagle in the tree. He might be running to the shoulder, you don't know why. But when the bird's feet are on your hand, you're gonna feel the slightest shift away from something. And that allows you the opportunity to assess that and help the bird work through it. So when you're ready, go ahead and just take them out. And we do have a stand here we're gonna use on this. I don't know if that's gonna be quite stable enough.
Hey, dude. Hey, come on, up.
No, aren't you going to step him up?
Hello.
Tell him to get up. Step up.
There you go.
Okay.
My little man, his name is Sven.
On the other side.
Hello, Sven. And he's very excited at the moment. He's getting a bit of a blush on. Yeah, you're gorgeous.
So see how you've already lost his feet?
Yep.
That's the kind of stuff that we're gonna work with you on.
Yes, that's
So this is where I'm trying to actually come over here so I can hold your feet because we're going to go
Why don't
across
you
the
just
road.
switch hands? Switch
And then
hands.
I've got,
Yeah.
we switch hands, it's not a problem, and then I've got
No.
him. Look, come on,
You
watch
don't
out.
have
Come
him
on,
though.
But he's got 1 foot on and 1 foot off.
Okay,
Yeah,
so go
so-
ahead and set him on the T-stand. And what are his favorite treats?
Oh,
He's
there
going
you
up to
go.
the shoulder because he's not used to that. So
Step up.
I'm gonna
It's a new
switch
stand.
sides.
It's a new stand.
First two.
Okay, here we go.
He's
Stand
got the
the tree.
stand he's used to. Should we use that? But it's wooden.
Now, will he go to other people?
Yo, because of Dino, like, no problem, right? But I'm always worried about that he'll give you a bit of a nip, right? But yeah, not a problem. If you can handle the bird, no problem whatsoever.
What's his favorite treat?
Macadamia nuts.
Macadamia nuts.
Why don't you help
But
him?
yeah,
Dave?
if you
You want to put him on your left hand, and do you have a macadamia nut?
No, I've just got a sunflower seed.
Oh, so he loves sunflower seeds though. Because he does.
Come here. Yeah. See how I have both his feet?
Yeah.
Now watch how I'm going to be able to get him onto the perch.
Oh, makes it look so easy.
Yeah, good boy. I didn't want you to come, but anyway, let's see if I can do this.
Yay!
There you go. Awesome.
Where's the tree?
That's right. Come on, little guy. Good boy.
Much better.
Good boy.
Treat there, yeah.
Good boy. Good boy.
So you have more control over the bird when you can hold both his feet.
Yeah.
So the owner is struggling to get a bird on an upward perch. Okay.
Hey, you gorgeous.
And then a random stranger can do it because I can feel what he's feeling and I can help him work through it.
Good boy. Good boy. Stay.
I love how everybody just laughs at that command.
Cool, so you can have him on you for a sec. If he flies you, that's cool. Have you done any target or clicker training?
No.
Okay.
I
I've
haven't.
done a little bit.
A little bit.
Not really. He's not.
Bit backwards and forwards. Good boy.
How easy is he to put back in the crate?
Oh, easy. Very
Okay.
easy.
Let's
Yeah.
put him back in the crate for a sec, and I want to go ahead and see how everything goes with the other guys.
Come on.
He says he's easy until.
Oh, there you go.
Awesome. Does that make sense on the foot holding?
Yeah.
Cool.
Wasn't doing the foot holding correctly. Is that right? Though you need 2 feet.
Yes.
2 feet.
Yeah, so
2 feet.
He's
part of-
habitually doing one.
Yeah, and so part of what I'm noticing is when I held him like this.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for the bird to climb down here to get to my shoulder.
Yep.
If you hold him here, it's only natural for him to want to climb because he wants to get to the highest point. But if
Yep.
you hold him a little bit higher, that is higher than my shoulder.
Yeah.
And it's safer.
Yeah.
So that can be something that that I see immediately that you can work on.
Yeah.
And that'll help you through. So as you saw, if you don't have the width of his feet, he's afraid of the perch. Where did he go?
Straight up to the shoulder.
Straight to the shoulder because he hasn't built that emotional intelligence yet.
Yeah.
If I'm holding his feet, and again, as a total stranger, I could feel that he was afraid of it. I could see he was afraid of it. So I helped work him through it. And then you were able to put him on it because he's like, oh, that's not scary. So by constantly giving your bird the opportunity to just gently push through those things, you'll help develop that emotional intelligence. They'll be able to assign that, oh, that's a little bit scary, but I trust you. You've never put me on like a burning hot stove.
Yeah.
Therefore, that's probably safe. Oh, and I get a treat.
Okay.
Okay, so quick tip, but a pretty valuable one. I want to see you just focus on step up as a trick and go back down to the perch as a trick.
Step up.
Okay, so step back.
It's up. He uses
So
up.
if he didn't want to step up, I'll ask myself why.
Because of the fix there.
This is a big reason why. Okay.
Motivator.
You're
taking my food.
So it's,
Step up.
you never say step up.
I wonder why his hand is open.
Up.
So see how his overall heightened he is?
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm going to let him chill for a sec. There's a lot of correlation between your energy and your bird's energy. And try this for me for a sec.
Yep.
I want you to think back of one of your happiest moments.
Holidaying in the Maldives.
When you're scuba diving, are you swimming frantically?
No.
You're just chilling.
Chilling, baby. Chilling.
Yeah.
Floating with the current.
Yeah. Put yourself in that for a moment. And now approach bird. See if you can just step up.
Step up.
You need to use a treat.
Come on. Step up.
I think you're on a weird angle. For starters.
You little man. Step up. Up.
Yeah.
There you go.
See how his overall energy was way different as well?
Step up here. Cool. There you go.
So they totally feed off of your own energy. So if you find yourself too super heightened, just think back to your scuba dives, right?
Scuba dives.
What happens if you scuba dive too heightened, you run out of air, right?
It's true.
So now we'll focus just strictly on stepping up.
Does he step up for the whole family? Like for all of you?
Yes, but
steps up for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Michelle's got a
I have a
beak
beak
phobia.
But I won't let him, so I've watched I watched your YouTube clip.
So,
Whoa, what the absolute heck was
Before
that?
Jamie reamed you,
Yeah, I know.
you asked for a step up,
And then he treated me.
didn't do it, and you rewarded it.
He does this all the time.
And everyone just try to, if you can, just try to be chill.
Chill.
Gorgeous.
So he doesn't ask him to go on his hand.
I know, I don't know how to explain it.
Okay. Put him down.
It's almost like a statue. You're putting him on it to your back of your thumb.
He's been exposed to a lot of things. I've taken.
Maybe you need to.
High five. High five. What? What the F am I asking? What? You were super confused. So step up is come up here, and then that way I can put my thumb on you.
Okay.
You're going step up, and you're asking him to go onto your wrist.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah? And then the discomfort of just that is leading him up to your shoulder. So your communication is very unclear, just like my hey, high five. You were like, okay.
No, that's fifth bump.
Wait, what? So try to communicate really clearly to him. Where do you want him?
Step up.
Where do you want him? You want him there, so isolate it. You
Okay.
want him there. So if I was gonna high five you, it would just be here. If you want him there, isolate it.
Okay.
Okay?
Up.
Good.
Good boy.
Perfect.
Good boy.
That was beautiful.
High
High five.
Good boy.
You can set him right down, and you can give him a little jackpot reward.
Up.
And then a future.
Good
Yeah.
boy.
AJ gets a
That
jackpot
was beautiful.
Hello. High five.
High five.
I'm seeing right now he's getting frustrated because you said
Good.
hi.
And put that thumb there.
Good boy.
And he's putting his hand up and he's just saying, I did it.
And back down.
Back down.
Good boy, Kem.
Good boy.
And just one more repetition. If you get it right this time, give him a jackpot when he steps up.
Okay, so nice treats.
Up. Awesome, dude. There you go. That's my ring and that's my finger.
Cool.
Okay.
So this has been a fun and crazy masterclass. My first time kind of combining a masterclass and not taking out the individual stories, because I thought that just how this one played out, it would be kind of fun and it would be new and different for one of my videos to incorporate kind of a sight of the whole masterclass in its entirety and what each person kind of learned throughout the entire thing. Also, there was a lot of stuff that I had to leave out. So obviously Sven's owners were there to learn about free flight, and as a lot of you who follow my channel consistently know, I'm uncomfortable publishing tidbits of free flight that are educational, because I don't want people to get that tidbit and be like, now I know everything there is to know about free flight, I'm gonna go do it and lose my bird. So we are not advocates for that. We want you to take an entire course, get a mentor, learn from a trainer in its entirety, learn everything, not just little bits and pieces here and there. So I left quite a bit of our free flight coaching out of this. And we highly encourage these people and anybody who comes to us for free flight consulting to enroll in our entire free flight course, which is a minimum of a 3-month course. Now, some people have completed it quicker. Boomer, the baby galah that you guys saw, completed it in just 2 months. We had a blue-throated macaw named Tika that also completed it in 2 months. So not that it can't take less time, but it is a minimum of 3 months. We want people's commitment on that sort of training. The other thing that I had to leave out was a lot of the magic coaching behind the scenes, how to work a bird into a show environment. So that was done on the magic side of things, how to make a bird appear, disappear, do certain tricks, use certain props and things like that. So Dave's conversation about that stuff, I also left out. So of course, happy to consult on those things, but not something that we want out there for the general public, and it was very specific to what he wanted to do in his show. So since I had to leave out a lot of stuff, I thought that was just another good reason to combine all these stories and let you guys kind of see what a masterclass can look like. Now, our masterclasses are in different environments with different people, different birds, all the time. So obviously they're all different, but this is a really fun one, and it's just kind of something where I think it's fun for you guys to kind of get a glimpse inside what a masterclass might look like should you be on the fence about participating or not in one. So thank you again and always to our students who are so gracious, letting us film them, letting us publish their stories and put them out for the world to see and hopefully learn from, and hopefully not judge too harshly. These are learning experiences for everyone, and keep in mind, you don't know what you don't know. So keep searching and seeking that education to better the lives of pet parrots everywhere.
Well, from today, I think I've learnt that we need to learn a lot and go back and just start from scratch. I think we've been very confused and doing a lot of mixed messages, and I think diet, lighting, bedtimes and all of that routine and everything, I think is a huge start to just start there, and then from there go to, we'll be all on the same page, hopefully. That's what I want to get out of. What I've gotten out of today is hopefully we'll all be on the same page.
The one thing that I can take away, and again, this is something you guys came up, awesome. There's really nowhere a repository of all this information and correct information, and that's something that like I've taken away from that. You know, unless you got a professional, you may end up with a bird that's gonna hate you or fly away. So again, it's really cool that you came up, and next time 17 years might be a little bit too long.
It was good to sit down with you and actually talk about the magic side of parrots.
Not a lot of
it's a
info
big
out there,
secret, man. It is. So to be able to sit with you, like, I much appreciate that. I know I should never feed him bacon, so I knew that before we started today. But to recap on that, his diet and things. This has been great fun, and I'd recommend it to anyone with a parrot in the world should be getting you guys and hanging out. For sure.
I appreciate that.
Especially in Dubai, Bali.
Somewhere real pretty. The biggest breakthrough I had today was we actually got him to move. We got Kermit to take 4 steps. I'm super happy to completely scratch my entire diet, move all the times around to suit us. I didn't know that I could move like nighttime to whenever I wanted. So I'm going to move it so it fits in better, so I can train him better. And he loves apple. We finally found that he will, at this point in time, he likes apple.
So he is food motivated.
Yes, he is food motivated. And I was really happy to see how calm and cool and collected he is in an environment he's never seen, with people around, and he was over there taking naps on his stand and chilling out. I'm glad that you guys have told me that I've done that well. Hello, baby. Thank you.
You went to Target today. So.
Yes. But yeah, no, I'm super grateful, and I'm glad that all your online stuff and everything helps. It really does. And that's all I've worked from. Everyone gets stuck on that one thing, and that was my spot. I was stuck there and I couldn't continue on further where I wanted to go, and we nailed it on the head today. And now I spoke to you guys, and now I can change everything around, and hopefully we can keep going.
Fix it.
Difference. And he's got your
Does he have your piercing?
Yeah.
How's
That,
that
ladies
go?
and gentlemen, is why you should never get a Prince Albert.
Oh my! It took a good minute for him to realize what you said. Oh yeah.
It's gonna be great.
So much a big family friend.
Well, guys, that's it for our masterclass. Thanks for watching. If you're thinking about joining live, you can tell that we have a lot of fun, and it's usually family friendly. Usually.